Good morning, everybody. Shefa Brucha V'Atzluche, parashat Mischpatim. And one of the interesting things in our parasha is instead of seeing it last parasha when we got the Torah, this Am Yisrael says we're going to do whatever God is telling us to do. Here is it, Na'aseh v'nishma. We will do and then we'll listen, which is, if we think about it, one of the greatest point of Am Yisrael getting the Torah. Like, we're going to do, we don't care what it's all about. God told us to do it, we're doing it, then we'll listen. But think about it, this is really a very stupid idea. You do something and don't know what you're doing, why you're doing. First of all, listen to what it's all about and then do it. It's like this Storky, he saw Rava learning Torah and sitting on the floor, and his knees were on his fingers, and there was blood come out of the finger. It says, you are hasty, you are due, like you got the Torah and you quickly did it without listening. First of all, you have to listen. How do you get to a point that you do whatever you are being told without listening to what it's all about? It's very easy and very simple. We have to understand that when we're talking about this guy, our relationship with God is an unbelievable relationship. In order to understand it, is what this tourist came from the States to Israel for a month or so with his 3 kids. And when they were flying back, he asked his kids, what moment did they like the most? Now, he was thinking about they're going to say this journey they had or whatever, or this beautiful, and each one of the kids said something different. One of them said, the day that you took me to buy kippot in Geula in Jerusalem. The other son said, the day that we went to visit your grandmother. And the third son said, the day that you went to visit your rabbi. And he couldn't understand why each one of the kids' moment is different from the others. He had 12 hours to think about it, and then he realized in each one of those occasions he was alone with the kid. When he went to buy the kippot, he was alone with his kid. And when he went to his rabbi, again, he was with the other kid alone, only with him. And when he went to the grandmother, the same story. And then he realized, what did a kid love the most? When father gives them a personal attitude and he's only with them. It's like they feel like they are the only one. They got all the attention. And this is a big lesson for each one of us, as parents, as grandparents, to give to each one of the children, give them, let's say, a special moment alone. Like all attention is with them. And you will see, I did it. And you see how your grandchild and children, how they enjoy it. And this is the big lesson. Each one of the kids, he enjoyed the moment when he was with his father alone. He had all the attention from his father. This is something unbelievable. This is the love. Now, we have to understand. The love of father to his children is nothing to compare to the love of God to us, his children. And each one of us is like an only son for the Kodesh Baruch Hu, our only child. And we've got the full attention. This only God can do. We've got the full attention from God, like each one of us, like we are alone with God. Now, when our father or mother ask us to do something, even if we don't understand, are we going to do it? Of course, we understand that our parents, if they're telling us something to do, they want only the best for us. So, we of course will do. Then we'll listen. But what the important thing is that our Father tells us to do. Now, our Father in heaven, He is the one, the only one, everything He makes. And He tells us to do something. We know it's only from His love. So Am Yisrael understood that God, with His great love, He gives them the 10 commandments. He gives them the Torah. And of course we'll do. Naaseh, we'll do it. Doesn't matter what it means. If God tells us to do it, we're doing it. This is Naaseh v'nishma. This is showing our love to God. And when we are already talking about showing our love to God, we'll see that in the Parsha, there are a lot of mitzvahs that are between us and a fellow man. between Ben Adam lechavero. It's not like a religious mitzvahs that we would think that God gives us the Torah and the Mischpatim are going to be about something unique to Am Israel, like Tefillin, Mezuzah, and Pesach, Sukkot, or Brit Milah, and all those things. But instead we see that most of the mitzvahs are mitzvahs of normal behavior in society. So, and the Torah tells us, "Ela mishpatim asher tasim lifnehem." You put those mishpatim in front of Am Israel, and we learn from this that our laws are different from all the other laws. Lifnehem velo lifnei ovdei kochavim. In front of them, of Am Israel, not in front of the others. A goy that keeps Shabbos, he has to be killed. Why? Because we are different. When the goy can, if he wants, he can convert himself and become a Jew. It's no problem. We don't look for it, but he can do it. And then he can do all the mitzvahs. Because the relationship between us and God is different from the relationship between all the others to God. We are Am Sgula, it's written in the parashat. God chose us from all the other nations, and He gave us the Torah. So we have to appreciate it and understand that our Torah, even if sometimes it looks the same, it's not the same. For example, when we're talking about murder, you know that in the world we have a lot of cases that years later they find out that the one that was found guilty was not really guilty. The Torah is so particular about, for example, murder, that in order to bring somebody a death verdict, to find him guilty in a murder, it's almost impossible. It's impossible. Even if you see a guy running after another guy and you see a shade and there is nobody there in the area and he's got a knife in his hand and he's running after the other one, and you come in and you see that he killed the guy, he's got the knife with blood on it and the guy is murdered, you cannot do anything about it, because you need two witnesses to see it and to warn him, and etc., etc., etc. In other words, it's almost impossible. So we will ask a question. So what's going to happen? What does it mean? The guy it's clearly that he killed him. He says, "Don't worry. I'll find a way to pay him. Don't worry about this." This is something that we have to understand. If it's taking interest in all those other things, we are different. And even if the laws look the same, it's not the same. And we're not going to go all the details. The idea is very simple. We go in the way of the Torah. The Torah shows us the way, and we don't go in Chukot HaGoyim. We see around us that people that want to be like the Goyim, I don't want to go into it. Anyway, we have to understand what God wants from us. And everything that He tells us, we have to understand is from this love of God, and sometimes you don't understand things. Like, for example, lo tachmod. You should not desire, or what do you say it in English, lo tachmod. You should not have a lust for something. You should not desire something. How it be? Think about it. You see something that you like, you don't want it. Yes, you have a desire for it. You chamed it. Lo tachmod is written. Lo tachmod. You should not desire. How can you control it? You see something nice that your friend got, you want it also. How can you control this? And Ibn Ezra brings a mashal, and he says it's like this peasant, he's never going to think to get married to the princess, because it's not his world, it's a different world. It's like nobody from us will think that he can now fly and have wings and fly in the sky. But when we think about it, this maybe mashal was good years ago, when really you had in the society you had levels. You know, if you have a peasant, you will stay a peasant all your life. If you have a prince, you are a prince. You are a lord, you are a lord. And like the high society was high society, the low society was low society. They could never climb up. But today it's all different. Each one of us can climb up. You can see this peasant tomorrow is a professor in university, because we give the tools today to everybody to get, let's say, to where he wants. And also regarding people that are rich or poor, it also can change. And things that you couldn't buy, let's say years ago, today you can buy them. You take a loan from the bank and they're very convenient loan and they're very good deals. And in other words, we can see, like we see this businessman that is the president of the United States. And we see it all over, that people that come from, let's say, from a very low society, from a very low, let's say, environment, and they got up. So how do we understand, how do we take what the Ibn Ezra says? You should not have desire for something that's got nothing to do with it. We see that people can get to a lot of things that they couldn't get in old times. And somebody that is today a peasant can be a professor, and he can be a rich guy. A poor can be rich, and it's all changed. The idea is, explain one of the Rebbe, I don't remember his name. He says, the idea of the Ibn Ezra is that you have to understand whatever God gave you, it's got nothing to do with the others. In other words, whatever you got is the best, the good. Your wife, your husband, your house, your car, your work, the best for you, for me. That's the best. And what my friends got is nothing to do with me. It's not good for me. Because God that loves us so much, as we said, He gives us what's the best for us as an individual, because He looks after each one of us privately, like we are our only son. And a father gives his children the best that he can, that is good for them. In other words, when we will realize that whatever we've got is the best for us, and there is nothing better for us, then I don't want what my friends got, if I understand it. Because what my friend got is not always good for me. And we see it in life. For somebody who won the lottery, and years later you meet him, and he's got no money, is in debt. Why? Because he wasn't the guy that deal with the money. In other words, it wasn't, he thought, wow, I am now a millionaire, I got this big prize in the lottery. But it ruined him. It's like, I see my friend comes with this beautiful, very sophisticated car. Everything works with voice and really unbelievable. So, in the first moment, he says, wow, I want this. But when you know my friend, he's 100% invalid. Neche, cripple, you wouldn't want this car. In other words, if we will put it in ourselves, who is the rich guy? The one who is happy with his part. This is the rich guy. The one who is happy, not that, okay, I've got enough. No, you're happy with what you've got, because you know that what you've got is the best for you. And this is exactly the idea of that the Torah tells us. Kol asher yomer Hashem na'aseh v'nishma. Whatever God tells us, whatever God gives us, we will use the tools and do the good in the eyes of God. And we have to understand, whatever it does is for the best for us. It's for the good of us. He loves us so much. So whatever He tells us to do, we will do, because we know it's the best for us. And whatever we've got, we will be not only satisfied, we'll be happy, because this for us is 100%. And we will not think about what the other guy got, what the other families got. But we will be satisfied and happy with what we've got, because God loves us. And He loves each one of us as an only child. And He gives us only the best of the best for each one of us. All the best.